normally host, but Brennan's all like, I want to see the viewers. So
all right, Raz. It is your turn. Go.
welcome to Talk Wrestling Online, the most hard-hitting and unbiased opinions on the wrestling world today. I, of course, am your host, the RazMan, alongside my tag team partner, as always.
WWE TNA for Life, and
our other Saxman tag team partner, Skinslip. Yes, that is right. That is part of the big repackage change. We've asked Skinslip to officially become a co-host on the program, and he has graciously accepted the offer.
Damn right.
Boys, what a time to have to do this repackage, because this is it. We are literally 25, 26 hours now away from WrestleMania 29 in New York and New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. So I guess we always start this off with breaking the fourth wall, which we'll get to, but, you know, we got to talk about it. Are we all psyched up? Are we ready? Have they sold us on this pay-per-view this year?
What, in your opinion, Brandon, I'll let you go first.
No. The last Raw was quite terrible. It did not feel like it got me pumped up. Only thing I'm really excited for is CM Punk Undertaker. That's it.
Yeah.
Ryback Mark Henry, because I really want to see that match. So.
You know, I think Ryback and Henry, a lot of people are shitting on Ryback and Mark Henry, but I want to see Henry get a WrestleMania moment. The only reason he didn't last year because he got injured. And so, you know, I'd love to see Mark Henry walk into a WrestleMania with a title. So maybe WrestleMania 30, because I think Mark Henry deserves all the, you know, good stuff that's coming to him.
Ryback and Henry is definitely a match that I think not enough people are talking about. It could be a very good match, but come on. If we're going to talk about underrated matches, you all know.
Fandango and Jericho, yeah.
Jericho and Fandango is going to be the best opener in WrestleMania in 3 years.
Yeah, I think, that's going to probably kick off the show, and it's going to...
Or wait, sorry, hold on. I did it wrong. Sorry. Fandango. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, but this is probably going to open the show, and it's probably going to steal the show right at the beginning.
That's exactly my point. That's why
as long as Johnny Curtis is up to it, doesn't choke.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? And we'll talk more about that later when we break down the card. But I think it was a good move by WWE. I mean, the news has already come out. We didn't announce breaking the fourth wall, but we're officially into it now. That's one of the first piece of news that came out this week, is they did announce that will be the first match on the card.
Yep.
So I'm excited about it, because I think...
Because I was hoping they wouldn't start with... I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say I'm relieved, because I'm so glad that the World Heavyweight title is finally getting some prestige again, because the last 3 years it's been the first match at Mania.
Yep. And
that's what I was going to say. I have a 60-second delay. I apologize if I talk over anyone.
Yeah, that's okay, man. The last year's World Heavyweight title match ended in 18 seconds.
Yeah. And the other thing is, I mean, we're talking about this a little earlier than planned, but it just flows with the discussion, and that's what we're trying to do more with this show, is make it flow better. I think the other thing about Jericho and Fandango, the match, you know, Johnny Curtis has a heck of a lot of potential, but can you imagine the pressure on this kid? You have your first televised match with this repackaged character at the biggest freaking wrestling pay-per-view in existence, against arguably one of the greatest performers of all time. In fact, there is no argument about it. He is one of the top 5 greatest performers of all time. And anybody that wants to debate it, just look at the stats. So you've got a tremendous amount of pressure on you, but I also think that's part of the reason why they put this match together, because there's nobody better than Chris Jericho at helping a young guy look good and helping a young guy get that springboard and go forward. And they really see this character as a big thing for them. Right. So I think that's why the trigger was pulled here.
Most definitely, I think, Fandango, Johnny Curtis is a definite star in the making, and I think that this match, like Skinslip said, if he does not choke, it will be a good match.
Well, I mean, is it that simple for you, Skinslip? Is it just about Johnny Curtis not falling on his face? Like, what do you think needs to happen in this match?
I think he left. Yeah, he got up to do something. He'll be back.
I'm sure he'll be back. I'm sure he wouldn't have left unless it was something really important.
Yeah.
But the only other real piece of news, I mean, it's a shame that we try to start this off with wrestling news every week, so we're not just like jabbering our heads off all the time.
Yeah.
But with WrestleMania week, that's where the focus is, and that's where all the hype is. So, Skinslip is back. So,
okay, sorry about that.
Before I get into that, I want to ask you: is it for you? Because we kicked it off with Jericho Fandango. For you, is it just as simple as Johnny Curtis Fandango not falling flat on his face? That's all it's going to take to make this an interesting match. Like, what needs to be seen here, in your opinion?
Okay, so as long as Curtis doesn't choke and it doesn't freak out, do anything stupid, whatever, there's no way that Jericho won't carry him to success. Jericho could carry a sandbag to that ring, wrestle it, and you'd still be entertained. But
exactly,
as long as Johnny Curtis can perform, he will get fans. Even if they boo him like they're supposed to, he'll still get that. That's good. That's what he wants,
Right.
As long as they don't chant, "You can't wrestle," which is I hate that chant in this case.
Well, it was all because the way WWE booked the gimmick, so it's their own fault.
I agree. I don't think it's fair to him. That's all.
Yeah.
No, it's not fair to him at all.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing I wanted to get into is I don't understand. I mean, I know what they're trying to do with the popularity of like Eve. So you think you can dance and Dancing with the Stars and all that reality show crap. But why are they sticking Curtis with this gimmick? I mean, Vince likes it, and I think that's the only reason. But I don't see this gimmick being a gimmick that can last him 10, 15, 20 years.
It's not going to. It's a temporary gimmick until he can bring something to the character, bring something to the table, and evolve the character.
Yep.
I mean, that's just how it goes. Some wrestlers start out with a gimmick and then move past it, like The Undertaker. Started out with a gimmick, moved past it with his own wrestling ability and his own talent. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay, well, go ahead, Brennan.
I was just gonna, add to that point. You got to start with a character, and until you're good enough to build yourself, you're gonna have to be stuck with that character until then.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. So I'm really excited about it, and like I said, like we've all said, just please, for the love of God, Johnny Curtis, don't fall under the pressure at WrestleMania. So the only other real piece of news,
I hope he does at least half as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and that's all you can hope for. When you're in there with Chris Jericho, you can only hope to look half as good as he does. Unless you're CM Punk, like last year, there's no way that you're going to outshine Chris Jericho.
Yep.
So, all right, so really the only other piece of news before we get into like the main meat of the discussion here is last night was Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. As I always do, they hold a pay-per-view same weekend as WrestleMania at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. And the big news is that nobody got to see the change of the Ring of Honor World title, yet more technical glitches, despite supposedly being with the best pay-per-view streamer in the world, which I personally don't think there is such a good thing. I've always said it. Sinclair, just give them more money, let them go on normal pay-per-view like TNA and WWE, or you're always going to have this crap happen to them. And after months of Steen being world champion, Jay Briscoe is the new ROH World Heavyweight Champion, and what my opinion is a real shocker. I'm not complaining about it, because if anybody deserves it, it's Jay Briscoe. But I am very, very surprised, because I thought, all the build-up, in my opinion, was about Jay Lethal being the next ROH champion.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the fact that it did cut out on fans, it kind of dicks over the fans, paying, money to see a pay-per-view and not being able to see the end.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the only reason you spend that $15. I mean, ROH, I give them credit, they do way better with their undercard than any of the major three companies right now. But the only reason you spend that $15 is because you want to see Briscoe versus Steen. That's the only reason. Yep. So, and what was really strange about it, like, I don't know if I agree with this, but I actually read, sorry, I had a little fun in my throat there. I actually read in a couple of places, like, there's a conspiracy theory already forming, because apparently when the match cut out, it was like right when the match started, and then right when it comes back on, it's Kevin Kelly going, and one of the most shocking moments in ROH history, Jay Briscoe is the new ROH World Champion, or it might even be Mark Briscoe. I always mix up the Briscoes. I'm pretty sure it was Jay Briscoe.
Jay Briscoe won the title there.
Yeah, it's the older Briscoe, whichever one the one is the older Briscoe, not Chicken, the other one. But, Kevin Kelly going, and one of the most shocking moments in wrestling history, like, it was almost like they wanted to make the fans go, what the heck, what happened? But I don't see that, because it would just be like an elaborate ploy to drive up TV ratings. But if you're going to do that, then what's the point of having an pay-per-view?
Also, you're going to have lots of pissed off fans for doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm not sure that I buy into that at all. So,
yeah.
But I am looking forward to, hopefully, if there is a replay available, like if ROH can fix it, that should be a good match, even though we know what the outcome is. So, unless you guys know something I don't know, I think we can actually switch over to a very brief TNA discussion.
Yeah. The only thing I want to say about ROH, I am excited to see the Jushin Liger versus John Morrison match.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That, and I, bow down to ROH because they took a bad situation and turned it into gold. When Charlie Haas retired out of nowhere after being a drunken idiot a couple of weeks ago, and it ruined the Charlie Haas versus Shelton Benjamin match that was supposed to happen, they replaced it with two tremendous workers. That have a lot of following, and two guys that got really ripped off in the big time. So, big time kudos really for that, and I can't wait to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I've always loved to see John Morrison wrestle. He was the first guy I've actually ever seen do a shooting star press way back in Tough Enough. When he did Tough Enough. And,
that's right. You weren't a WCW mark. You didn't see Kidman back in the day.
No. Billy Kidman's awesome, though. I am a fan of Billy Kidman. But the shooting star press is probably my favorite move, and that's why I love Adam Neville, how he does the corkscrew.
Yeah, Aaron Neville does the corkscrew shooting star press, and it's the most sick thing you've ever seen. Like, if no one's ever seen it, it's unbelievable. As a matter of fact, it's the most sick maneuver I think I've ever seen in wrestling, not named the Canadian Destroyer.
Yep, or the Vertebreaker.
Or the Vertebreaker. Yeah,
the Vertebreaker.
That was another good one.
The Vertebreaker looks like it'll kill you.
Yeah. Speaking of the Canadian Destroyer, though, how awesome was that to see P.D. Williams finally return to TNA/Impact Wrestling on Thursday?
Yeah.
it was cool to see Petey Williams come back.
Underrated performer if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, I mean, why the heck did they ever do that whole loser leaves TNA match angle with him and have him away from that company for 4 years? That's just bad booking.
I don't know. Why do they keep booking Sanjay Dutt badly? Who knows?
Yeah.
I have no idea. But the good news is he is in that championship match, that next X Division championship match with Kenny King. And I want to say either Zema Ion or Christian York. I can't remember who the third guy is, but that's TNA's new thing, is that every X Division match is a triple threat match. Do you guys like that?
Yeah, and they're really good. Do you not? I think they're, the one at Lockdown.
Look, it's an X. It should be 4 people. That's all I'm saying. That's my only problem. It's an X. There should be 1 in each corner. X division. It makes sense.
Right.
3. Yeah. I have no problem with 3. I'm just that's my preference. Is that 4 means that there could always be 2 people doing something and 1 person, and 2 people resting.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and the other thing we saw was finally, and I have no idea why it was in the form of a gut check match because it's a slap in his face, but finally Scrap Iron Adam Pearce debuted on Impact Wrestling Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Against Magno. So I'm very happy about that, and if he doesn't get a TNA contract, I'm pretty much done with TNA.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely done with TNA if they don't get him. I'm like, seriously? The man's been working, 17 years? Has, 5 NWA championship reigns? I mean, he's a great worker. He's a stand-up dude, and he needs to be there. He needs to be there, and he needs to be world champion.
And the other thing, he's 33 or 34 years old. In wrestling terms, that means he's only got, maybe if he's lucky, 10 more years in him. If he's lucky.
Probably closer to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a travesty if he doesn't get an opportunity to shine on a national stage before it's too late for him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless he interferes in the Undertaker CM Punk match and says screw TNA.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so Colt Cabana showing up there would be hilarious. I would flip my skull.
Oh, I'd love for Colt Cabana to show up in the corner of CM Punk, especially if they do something with earlier in the night with Triple H and Lesnar, where Heyman gets taken out, and Heyman can't be in Punk's corner, and you think Punk's going out against Taker by himself, and then Colt Cabana shows up, the non-hardcore fans would be like, what the heck is going on? But it'd be great.
That'd be awesome. I'd love to see. Colt Cabana needs a WWE contract. I wish.
10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I wish Punk would pull some strings and get all Cabana.
Probably has. I mean, it's the problem is he only gets so much pull in the company.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless your name is John freaking Cena. But that's a whole
or Triple H.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that about does it for TNA. Oh, of course, next week they have the rematch, Full Metal Mayhem, Jeff Hardy versus Bully Ray. Should be a good match, but Bully Ray is going to retain. Come on,
we haven't seen Full Metal Mayhem since Max and Jeremy Buck against the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah, that is
Generation
true.
Me.
Yep.
Or the Young Bucks, whatever you want to call
the
them.
Young Bucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen a match in PWG with them after they left TNA, and I was like, holy crap! I was like, these guys are even more awesome than they were in TNA.
Oh, they're awesome. They're fantastic.
Yeah, they came back at one of the one night onlys, but it hasn't aired yet.
Yeah, one of the one night onlys aired last night. And everybody was talking about it. I haven't.
It was the X Division one, so
yeah,
we have to see that for sure.
Yep.
Because that'll be an awesome show to see.
And another thing about Sanjay Dutt, if he doesn't in the future, near future actually, win the title, the X Division title, I will be greatly pissed off.
Well, the problem with Sanjay Dutt, I agree with that, but the problem with Sanjay Dutt, and sorry Brandon, didn't mean to talk over you, I'll let you go in a second, but the problem with Sanjay Dutt right now is Petey Williams is back. So you can't put the title on Petey Williams and Sanjay Dutt. You have to pick one or the other.
But you can make Petey Williams a bad guy and against Sanjay Dutt the face.
Exactly.
And have Sanjay Dutt chase the title.
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then give him the title at the end, like, whatever, Slammiversary or whatever,
Yeah, there you go.
Make it a long feud or whatever.
Yeah. Another quick thought here.
All right.
We've said it many times, but what are your opinions on AJ Styles right now? What do you think?
After last week, it's got my head spinning because they still haven't. They're putting it off another week, and all we saw was AJ just stare at that Aces and Eights cut. He just was looking at it like. Just so intently. So, it's brilliant booking. It's done its job. And whatever the payoff is, I think it's going to be great. My bet is still the TNA version of Crow Sting. He's going to pretend to be an Aces and Eights and then just go nuts and beat them all up. But I still think it's going to be exciting. Either way. Yeah.
I'm still wanting Sting to be an Aces and Eights. I want him to be that higher power. I really do. Sting, that would throw everybody for a curveball.
I still want the higher power to be Jeff Jarrett, but I don't think it's going to happen because he's fallen out of such favor in TNA.
Does he still have that title from, was it AAA? Yeah.
No.
Does he still have the AAA title? Did he lose that?
No, he lost that a long time ago.
Okay, see, that's how long I've been in that loop. I saw Triple Mania 2 years ago,
Yeah, and for anybody who doesn't know, I mean, it proves how ticked off and how unforgiving, I guess, Dixie Carter is over the whole Karen Angle, Jeff Jarrett, Kurt Angle debacle, and Jeff Jarrett not being honest about their relationship, because not only are they fired from TNA on camera, but Jeff Jarrett wasn't at the one night only pay-per-view that was supposed to be crowning the greatest TNA champion of all time. Jeff Jarrett wasn't there. So, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, it really does. And you know what? Jeff Jarrett's awesome, although I did hate him toward the end of his TNA run, which he did his job. He did his job in making me hate him.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Jeff Jarrett's one of the most underrated heels of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think I mainly hated him because of Karen, because she annoyed the piss out of me.
Oh, there you go. Well, I think we're done with TNA, so before we get into WrestleMania, which is obviously the bulk of this show, we are going to do something that is going to alternate every 2 weeks. 1 week it's going to be me, 1 week it's going to be WWE TNA for Life, 1 week it's going to be Skinslip. But this week, because it's the WrestleMania 3 pre-show, all three of us get to do it. It's a solo segment, much like you'd see and hear on other wrestling podcasts. Mine is called the RazMans Rants and Raves, where I either rant on something that WWE is doing wrong, or another product, or rave about it. Brennan's is going to be called For Life Hypes or Gripes, and we have no idea what Skinslip's is going to be. He's going to just drop it on us when he gets his turn. But
yeah, there you go.
I'm going to kick it off with the RazMan's Rants and Raves, and what I want to talk about is a rant on the stupidity of wrestling fans today, because people don't understand the nature of booking. Because so many people throughout this entire build-up to CM Punk versus Undertaker at Mania 29 have been all upset about the use of the urn, talking about it being disrespectful to Paul Bearer. And there's two things that you have to understand. Number one, the minute he died, everything got pre-approved by his family members. So everything you've seen on television is family approved. That's the first thing you gotta realize. Second thing you gotta realize is that it was never Paul Bearer in that urn. Paul Bearer was never physically in that urn. So for you to get all upset because the urn gets thrown around like CM Punk is a Harlem Globetrotter or Undertaker gets ashes poured over top of him, it's just completely uncalled for. And it makes no sense at all. And the final thing I have to say about it is the fact that it's getting you this upset means that it's doing its job.
Yep.
CM Punk's job throughout this whole feud has been to entertain and to make you hate his guts. So that's my rants and raves for this week. That's my rant. Use your heads. If you're going to watch the modern day wrestling product, have some sense. Use your heads. Don't be a mark. Now it's time for 4 Live Hypes and Gripes.
Yes, you know what? I want to go along that same line as a gripe toward the wrestling fans. Then, not by no means are we calling you idiots. Well, maybe we are. But we want to, tell you guys that it's all scripted, it's all storyline. If you take this shit seriously, then, I love wrestling. I love wrestling to death, and grown up with it all my life. But, you got to realize that it's a lot like, it's a 3-ring circus, basically. And, you have all the performers coming out and doing Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. We now have 3 hours of Raw, so that's your Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Each one lasts an hour long. But, I think that wrestling fans definitely need to get a brain when they think that, they poured the ashes all over the Undertaker. I'm like, no, it was dirt that they poured all over the Undertaker. And I think that, like, there was this one video I seen where Kayfabe News put a thing out where WrestleMania was rigged, and it was canceled due to match fixing. And this one kid put up a...
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, it is great. It's definitely it.
Oh, this is even better. What I'm about to tell you. This kid put up a video all pissed off because he'd seen that news story and thought it was real, and got up on camera, complained about it, was like, I'm pissed off. They canceled WrestleMania. What are you doing, WWE? You cancel your biggest event of the year. And I'm like, oh my God, do you even know what the word kayfabe means? But yeah,
obviously not.
Obviously not. But wrestling fans definitely need to get better. That's why CM Punk said "fuck you" basically to all the wrestling marks. He was asked a question yesterday, and CM Punk like, "Where's all the smart marks at?" And the host said, "They're right there in the camera." And CM Punk like, "Can I say something to him?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he looks at the camera and goes, "Fuck you." And I'm like, you know what? You get, some wrestling fans, especially some of the smart marks. I consider myself a smart mark, but not a dumb one. Some people you just have to say "fuck you" to. So Brandon, I will give it to you.
Tapped on the same subject I was going to tap on with idiot fans, and my segment called Skinslip Says. That's SEZ. Just because.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
And I have a gripe. As soon as Bruno Sammartino was announced for the Hall of Fame, Twitter was flooded with either praise or "who the hell is this guy?" And before you make some stupid ass of yourself, do a little research. Look him up online. Understand the show, the thing you're watching, and that it is older than you, older than your father, probably older than your grandfather. And it's been around for decades. There are people who have affected wrestling well before WWE even got a TV show. Before they were WWE. Before they were WWF. So, if you go on the internet and act like a fool, prepared to get insulted. I spent a good, 2 hours insulting people on Twitter because I felt like they were being stupid, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. But if you go around acting like an idiot, you're going to get insulted. And that's what CM Punk did to all the smart marks out there who think they're smarter than they should be, who absolutely know nothing. So smart marks, you don't know what you're talking about. That's pretty much it. Just shut up, do your research.
And we got Simon Michael HD in here. What's up, man?
What's up? You're a smart, Brandon. You're not the smart mark. You're a smart. You think you're smart. You think your arguments are smart.
I think, Benny, you just completely froze, bro. Nobody heard what you said.
Brandon, you there?
Brennan.
Me?
Yeah,
Was
there
that
you
directed
go.
at me or him? Sorry.
Well, no, I was saying Brennan froze, and then Brennan was trying to talk to
No, I'm
you.
asking Simon. Was that directed at me or him?
Are you there?
Our names are kind of similar, so.
Yeah. Simon, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I want to kind of elaborate on this now. Simon said you think you're smart to Brandon. You think you're
To you.
Oh, no,
talking
to you.
Oh,
If you said it to me, I'd probably put a fork in his eye. So.
You're saying it to me?
No, I was talking to you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the other guy. I don't judge by him. I don't know the other guy.
Oh,
I
can't wait to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, like I said, you think you're smart. You think your argument are smart, but your argument is just like everybody else.
Everybody else on Twitter, praising the WWE for everything they do.
Well,
Whenever, I'm going to be honest, the road to WrestleMania have been rather lackluster.
No, I agree.
You do agree? Okay,
I agree.
good.
Well, I wouldn't say it was lackluster. I just think it's not as good as previous WrestleMania. Like last year's WrestleMania, for example.
Right.
well, I mean, my thing is beyond the big three, which is Punk, Taker, Lesnar, and Rock Cena 2. Beyond those three matches, and Jericho Fandango because it's Jericho, and Mark Henry Ryback because it's two big, burly, huge guys, just tearing each other apart. Can you name one other match that you're actually looking forward to on the card? That's the big problem. I mean, this is WrestleMania, and none of the matches feel like a WrestleMania caliber, in my opinion.
Agree.
Well, if you don't agree, you're welcome to point out why. I mean, that's
Point out why.
Opinions here.
Yeah.
So.
Point out why, man.
Well, Punk and Taker is going to be a 5-star, match. No matter what the hell you want, there's going to be false finishes. There's good storytelling. They've got good content on there. It's going to be a great match. Triple H against Brock. The first one was more of a storytelling, martial art fight match. Tomorrow is going to be a whole hell brawl. They're going to kill each other in this match. They figured out what's working between Brock and Triple H, and that's exactly what they're going to do tomorrow. Brock and Cena, you can bitch all you want, about this not being an original just based on the fact that it's a rematch. It's going to be a great match because it's a rematch. It's going to be, Rock against... There was a lot of people expecting and being interested in Rock against Hogan too. It's the exact same thing this time. It's the rematch. It's like...
Well, yeah, I completely agree with that point, actually. I think rematches are great because, you've proven that it worked once and you don't have to work really hard to you don't have to spend a lot of time and build up because you've already got the story writes itself. But I think that's what the only people complaining about Cena Rock too, I think that's the only thing they were saying, is that it's been, another 6 weeks of talk and we don't need it between The Rock and Cena. Like, The Rock and Cena just could have had, no interaction at all and just went to Mania and put on a great match. I think that's what people that are complaining, I think that's what they're saying. And I somewhat agree with that because I do get tired of The Rock and Cena both doing the same thing week in and week out.
I think they should have had more interactions going into this Mania. I think every single interaction going into this Mania has been the exact same thing than last year's Mania. Basically being in a ring and talking, oh, I'm better than you, I can beat you, you can't beat me. All that bullshit. It should have been matches. Rock should have been in tag team match. For example, that week that the Primetime Players came out and interrupted Cena, they should have had Rock and Cena tag team against the Primetime Players, and obviously at the end,
that would have been a great move. Yeah.
Yep.
Agreed.
And have some basically like they did with Ryback and Mark Henry. I can do this better than you type thing. I don't know. I just feel like they should have had more in-ring interactions.
I do agree with that, and I think they dropped the ball in some way, because I think what really sold this feud was the last 2 weeks when Cena pulled out all the personal crap and basically just laid it all out there for The Rock and said, I beat you at WrestleMania because you tore apart my life and I have to beat you. Like, that's what this whole feud should have been. It should not have been the same thing, like, I can beat you because I'm better than you. It should have been John Cena just making it so personal every single week. And they didn't do it until 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. And that was the big problem I had with the build-ups.
Yeah. It's funny. Me and Simon actually agree on something. It's actually a shocker. But I do agree with Simon for sure that The Rock should have had more in-ring stuff going on.
Different type of interactions, really.
Yeah.
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 Well, Brandon, you've had to be quiet for a minute. What's your take on the whole thing? I mean, do you agree?
Meh. I have no opinion on it.
Are you just,
either way.
Are you just that over Rock and Cena?
Yeah, just don't care. I'm sure it'll be a great match. I'm not saying it's not going to be a great match. I just don't care about the feud. If it's a great match, I'll be happy. That's all I'm looking for.
All right. Yep. Well, I'm sure we'll get back to Rock and Cena at the end of the show, but let's do what we were going to do before Simon hopped in here, guys. Let's actually break down the whole card match by match. So, Brennan, I think you got the whole card in front of you right there.
Yeah, let me pull it up here. I know the first one's going to be Jericho versus Fandango. So,
and we covered Jericho Fandango. That's how we kicked off the show, since it's been confirmed that that'll be the first match on the card. So we'll just let Simon chime in on that. Yeah.
Yeah, let Simon chime in on it.
Yeah, because we've already given our opinions on that one.
Well, just for the record, I'm gonna leave at 7 p.m. I have other projects I have to get to work on, so I'm gonna leave at 7. I just wanted to join in when I saw this was on. Jericho Fandango is going to be good. I think the more I think about it, I think it's going to be Jericho going over tomorrow night, and Fandango's probably going to get like a rematch or some shit at Extreme Rules, and from there, Jericho's probably going to leave WWE, and Fandango's going to go on. I guess he's going to get his rub at Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you agree with the rest of us? I don't know if you saw the beginning of the show, but we were all saying that as long as Johnny Curtis doesn't fold under the pressure, there's nobody better for him to be working with than Chris Jericho.
Oh, absolutely. For a guy who entering his first WrestleMania, his first match, good deal.
Yeah, and then I think the next match on that after that, I think it should be just to get it out of the way. Tons of Funk and who else? Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyl versus Team Road Colors and the Bellas.
I actually think they're gonna do the other tag team, the Ziggler Langston, that one. I think that's actually gonna be the second match, to be honest.
Oh, yeah?
That's just my opinion. Yeah.
They confirmed the tag titles match to debut at Mania, from what I've heard.
Oh, really? It's gonna curtain jerk the show? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, I heard it was Jericho. We heard that it was Jericho Fandango.
Yeah.
to kick off.
Well, it's McMahon. He's going to change it every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. We're not going to know until 7 tomorrow, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But 7 Eastern, 6 Central, wherever you're at. You know what time the pay-per-view starts. But, yeah. Well, okay, just real quick, we'll let Simon give his opinions out first since he has to leave in 10 minutes. So just talk about both those matches, and then the rest of us will go.
Wait, for what? What match?
The tag team title match and the and the other tag team match, because that's the one we brought up.
I want Ziggler and Big E to win.
Yep.
I feel like they need. I think obviously they're gonna have the rematch. Team Hell No is gonna have the rematch at Extreme Rules, but I feel like keep Ziggler busy while he's not cashing in, and it's interesting, I guess. I was like, the Team Hell No would be better chasing at this point. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do. I just feel like
I just think Team Hell No needs to break up too.
Yeah,
That's the other part of it.
Team Hell No needs. Yeah, Team Hell No needs. At the
same time, we need new champ. We need. It would be a great way to start Mania. New tag champs. Everything can happen. There we go.
The only problem with it though is if they win the tag team titles, that means that by default we're probably not going to see a Ziggler cash in until literally the night of Money in the Bank. Like it's literally going to take a full year.
Backroom rumor, of course, just rumor, has said that they want to put a bunch of titles on that group to make them like a force.
Yeah.
So there's a likelihood that Langston will get either the European or the Intercontinental title, and AG will get the women's title, Divas title, excuse me. I wish it were the women's title. And like they want to make kind of like a stable with them. It's the kind of rumor right now, and I think that could still happen, whether it's at Money in the Bank or tonight or tomorrow night. Excuse me.
I love how old school you are, Brandon, because you said the European Championship.
Yeah, European. That thing's been gone since.
Oh, I'm sorry. Whatever the other title is. Jeez.
Yeah, no.
Whatever they are jerking around is calling that title.
It's a funny moment though, but I hadn't heard that rumor, but I would be way more accepting of that than I would, Ziggler being stuck just being a tag team champion until July.
He should be freaking title holder already. Jesus.
Yeah. Exactly. Honestly, I think they kind of screwed up not having them cash in yet.
Yes.
That's my opinion. I thought he should have cashed in. Elimination Chamber would have been great for him to cash in.
Yeah, that was the moment, because it should have been Ziggler versus Jericho at Mania for the world title. Yeah. That's what should have happened.
Yeah.
But, if wishes were fishes, we'd all be, 20 miles under the sea. So, before we continue, the rest of us will break down the card, but since Simon, you said you had to leave at 7, do you want to give your opinions about the rest of the card? Okay.
Yeah. What do you think, man?
Well, I'm gonna obviously, if I'm gonna talk about this mostly tomorrow on the pre-show. My pre-show. For obviously for those of you watching, 2:30 p.m. Simon Michael HD, youtube.com/Simon Michael HD. We're gonna talk about it on there, but and there's my prediction also on my channel, really. But Rock, Rock Cena's winning. Punk, Taker, sorry Punk. Brock, Brock, Taker. Brock, Triple H, definitely Triple H. What else is on there? Ryback, as long as he can, hold Henry. Other than that, what else is on there?
The Shield versus Orton, Sheamus, and Joe.
Oh yeah, that one's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to it. I actually want to. I don't know what I want there. I don't know whether we're gonna have a new member of the Shield, possibly Cassius Ohno. Would love to see that. Or,
there you go.
Or Randy Orton heel turn. And a rumor I've heard today, man, it's never gonna happen. It's complete fantasy stuff. But 2-Man Power Trip recreated. Randy Orton and John Cena being behind the Shield, basically. The Shield.
That would be amazing. I would love to see that, but I think something will happen with Cena at WrestleMania at the end of the match. I think there has to be some kind of character change with him. But whether it's a full-on, typical, quote-unquote heel turn, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. Because, really, who else is a face that can carry WWE right now is the problem that they have with that.
Well, I don't think he's going to turn heel.
Yeah,
Well, like I was saying earlier in other videos, at first I thought, okay, they're bringing back Laurinaitis. There's a reason for that. Cena might turn in during Laurinaitis. The more I think about it, I think Laurinaitis is going to have a new, superstar, and he's going to be having somebody to destroy Cena. And haven't seen Batista in a while. Just saying.
Yeah, well, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll let you get out of here since you have some other things you got to take care of, Simon. But thanks very much for stopping by and being part of our show, and thanks for having us be part of your show tomorrow. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll stay till 7. I'll stay till 7.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, let's let the rest of us then talk about the tag matches real quick. I guess we'll do the tag team title match first. In my opinion, I think Ziggler and Big E are going to win here because I think Team El No is running its course, but it needs to be a thing where it spotlights Big E, in my opinion, more than Ziggler.
Yeah.
Because Ziggler's moment is going to be when he cashes in and becomes world champion. So this needs to be Big E's coming out party.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion what needs to happen there. And whether or not in the match Daniel Bryan and Kane finally turn on each other is yet to remain to be seen. But that's the one thing I want to see, new tag team champs, and I want to see Big E look like a badass. Because anybody that's seen him wrestle in NXT has tremendous ability. And
please wear knee pads.
Yeah, oh my God.
Please
give that man some knee pads or a pair
Somebody
of
get Cesaro knee pads too, please.
yes.
God.
Yeah,
that's part of Cesaro's gimmick, though.
I don't care.
I agree.
He doesn't need a gimmick. He's good enough by himself.
Get that man get Big E Langston some knee pads and never let him anywhere near a frickin' microphone in his life.
No.
I'm sorry. That was
no, it's true because his mic skills are god awful.
His stuff on NXT is good, though. We haven't seen nothing out of Big E. What
that's true.
On NXT,
he's got time to develop. He's young. It's all good.
That's an extremely valid point, Simon.
Yeah,
valid point.
Yeah, he got some good stuff. I'm looking forward to seeing how he wrestles on. He picked up Kane to do a finishing move. I thought that would be pretty cool.
So impressive.
Oh yeah.
Well, since we're talking about Big E and we talked about Fandango, that would be a nice little final thing for Simon to be here with us to chime in on. What do you guys think about two young future stars getting a spot at WrestleMania and literally their first match? I mean, what do you think that says about WWE's faith in Big E and Johnny Curtis Fandango, and is it founded for both of them?
I think it's interest. I think it's mystique. I think it's, interest, just based on the fact that you don't know what you're going to see. And it gets you interested. At least I'm interested. I'm looking forward to see the entrance. Obviously, Fandango's entrance is going to be big time over the top. Looking forward to see, Big E. Hope he wears knee pads. And just really, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for the Mania period. I don't know if you guys saw the set on
Oh yeah.
I know the set's been out, but I'm old school. I don't like spoilers, so I like to see it the first time when I put it on TV for the pay-per-view. So.
Yeah. Well, listen, it looks absolutely great. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to leave you with that because I need to go now. But it's going to be awesome. I can't wait. Last plug. Pay-per-view pre-show tomorrow, 2:30 p.m.
Well, again,
whatever.
Yeah, and again, thanks for coming on, Simon, and thanks for inviting us.
We appreciate you inviting us, man.
Yeah, no problem. As well as Brandon, I don't know.
Yeah, Skinslip on YouTube. Brandon, yeah.
All right, take care, guys.
Nice
All
meeting
right. See you, Simon. Good seeing you.
See ya. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was a big surprise and big unplanned thing, being joined by Simon Nichol, and I'm still in shock that Simon Nichol and WBT Name for Life got along for 20 minutes there.
We almost butted head there. Raz, you kind of jumped in the middle on that one.
I did. I was trying to.
I thought he was talking about me, and I almost stabbed him in the eye with a fork. So,
dude, I kind of wish he was. I kind of wish he was talking to you. I was gonna be like, oh my god, oh my god, I can't wait to see him just chew him up and spit him out.
The show end with a giant kerfluffle between me and him.
No, yeah. Well, the thing is, he never met you before, so you really should come out for his pre-show tomorrow, man. That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Because Simon is one of those guys. Like he's a good dude, and I like him a lot. And I think tonight proved that he can have intelligent discussions, but he always seems to look at the positive way more than the negative. So
yeah,
with a person like you, that could get really interesting.
Yeah, that's why I said you think you're smart to me, because I call out every little bullshit thing that WWE does, and he did not like that at all. So,
yeah. Anyways, guys, Simon kind of threw us off, and we don't want to go incredibly long here, so let's get back on track. Let's give some official predictions here. Like I said, tag team titles, I think new tag team champs, I think Big E shines. That's all I want to see. So what do the other two you feel about it?
I think...
Tons of funk.
Tons of funk, there you go. Oh my god.
Well, that's the wrong...
I love them. I love their gimmick. It's awesome.
Yeah, you're a match ahead of yourself, man.
Sorry. I know. They're going to be in the match too. You see, it's just going to devolve. No,
okay.
They're going to do fine. They're going to fight it. They're going to get into a fight at the end. It's going to cause them to lose, and then we'll see the official dissolution on Raw, I think.
But yeah. Well, who do you think needs more of a spotlight, Ziggler or Langston in the match?
Ziggler.
Yeah.
Really? See, you're opposite of me.
Yeah.
By saying that, because I think Ziggler, the focus needs to be on him when he cashes in.
I already think the focus is going to be on Ziggler, because everybody's going to be like, what's he going to do? What's he going to do with that many?
I hope there's Let's Go Ziggler chants.
There will be. Because, I mean, it's a New York and New Jersey crowd. I mean, you're not going to get...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say you're not going to get much of a smarter wrestling crowd than New York and New Jersey.
The thing is WrestleMania, you're not going to get just a specific city crowd. You're going to get people from all over the country, all over the world. People have been saving up for all year to come to show. But hopefully there's a hardcore audience who loves it, who don't go to any other live show because they're saving up to go to WrestleMania. You know?
Exactly. Well, I 100% agree with that statement.
Yeah.
You're 100% right. I mean, the noise in last year at MetLife Stadium was actually, or not MetLife Stadium, it's this year, but last year at
Sun Life
Stadium, it was almost masked because the crowd was so massive and it was open air, and the way that stadium is built, you could almost hear no noise at all
at the beginning,
at certain points of the pay-per-view.
When Brian came out and you start hear those no chants, or was it yes? I don't remember.
It was yes.
It's been a year. I got goosebumps. I was like, oh my god, people love him. And then it was over in 18 seconds, and I was like, oh.
Can you imagine the people walking by Sun Life Stadium, hearing all that? People be like, what the hell is going on in there?
Right.
Be impressive.
Yeah, but what I was referring to was Rock and Cena. There was clearly emotion in that match, but I think it just got masked because you had literally like half of the tens of millions, booing Rock, and you had the other half cheering for Rock, and you had the crowd literally split in half. And what's really going to be interesting is this year, I think it's way more clear cut. I think The Rock is way less over this year than he was a year ago. Mm-hmm. And I think there will be a lot more people in John Cena's corner than what people realize.
Well, I mean, last year, everyone got really tired because that really emotional roller coaster ride of the Triple H Undertaker match.
Yeah.
Where it was so intense, and afterwards I felt spent, and there was like 3 more matches. Like
Exactly.
I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
this year too.
That's the match people are going to be talking about for 25 years. I mean, in my opinion, that's the greatest Undertaker match of all time, which, thank God for CM Punk, because otherwise I would not even want to see another Undertaker match.
Yeah.
If I'm being brutally honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal to see what Punk and Taker can do.
I hope it's the final match of the night. I really hope so.
It's not going to be, though, because it's...
Why?
Because it's Rock and Cena, and that's not how Vince thinks.
Taker could do like a retirement speech, and it'd be all epic, and I'd get goosebumps again. Maybe even cry.
Well, but the thing is, Taker, as much as it would make sense for Punk to be his last opponent, I don't think he is. I don't think you can have a WrestleMania 30, a 3-decade anniversary WrestleMania that's in Texas, where Undertaker's from, without Undertaker being there against Cena.
I'm buying tickets for next year.
I said Texas. That's where it was supposed to be, but now it's in New Orleans. But
right. I still might buy tickets for next year. Be close.
My first point still stands, though, that it's a 3-decade anniversary of Mania. I think if Taker goes out, it has to be that year, and it has to be against John Cena. Whether anybody likes it or not, that's just the money match for Taker's last match.
That's the wind going out of my sails.
We don't like it. We don't have to like it, but that's just the booker in me, thinking as a booker.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to go against the grain and do what's right as opposed to what's logical. You know what I mean?
This is true. This is very true. But anyway, we got ahead of ourselves again, and we're trying really hard to be structured on this show. Hopefully we'll get better. But
there's no structure to this show.
But we're trying to make it flow better, is my point.
Yeah, there you go.
We're trying not to have it jump all over the place. So Monsters of Funk versus Roast, and Funkadactyls versus Rose Collars and Bellas. I really don't give a crap about the Bellas. I don't know why they're back, except for they're banging Daniel Bryan and John Cena, respectively. That's why they have a job right now. No, it's true. It's the truth.
Maybe.
I
think their alternative career they wanted to start was pretty much dead in the water. I don't think they had another option. So.
Well, it's been reported in multiple places that that's what's happening here. So.
The alternative? What was their alternative?
Yeah.
They wanted to be actors.
They wanted to do modeling and TV, but modeling kind of happened a little bit, and nobody gave them probably any offers.
I was like, what are the Bellas going to be? Twin porn stars? What the hell?
Yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, I really don't care about the Bellas, but I do care about Rose Collars. And WWE spent that whole time like, are they together? Are they apart? Are they together? Are they apart? Bottom line is they've kept them together, which is the right move, and Rose Collars needs their moment at Mania. Absolutely. So I'm picking Rose Collars and the Bellas to win the match. At least that's what I hope.
You know what? I hope Team Rose Collars and the Bellas will win also, but it's WrestleMania, and the faces go over the hills at WrestleMania. So.
Well, that's true, but it's almost always like one than the other, than one than the other. Like, depending on how they book the card, it either goes heel face or face heel, like one right after another, the whole way through. If you ever pay attention, like, go back and watch a WrestleMania card and count the booking of the matches, and you will see it. It goes face heel or heel face, like clockwork, like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I can do that. And I just realized I shouldn't have said porno, because now I'm thinking of E.T. porn.
Oh, that was amazing.
It was
Wait, what did I miss? Something happened. I must have missed.
Last night at Friday Night Insanity, we got into a conversation on porno, and
I did not bring up this conversation. I would like to point out, I just finished it.
Yeah.
I said, you want to know what the most disturbing porno is? E.T. the porno. Just type in E.T. porno into Google Images and have nightmares for the rest of your life.
Wow.
He did.
Wow.
I googled it and looked at the picture, and I'm like, God damn it!
You don't even have to see
Alright,
the
well,
porn part. You just have to see the image of the E.T. character, and you'll just be like,
You'll get every time you see,
Yeah.
you
Well,
watch it.
I definitely want to know more about this later off the air, but I don't think we want people like little kids like turning away from the show right now.
oh.
Or going Googling, all the little kids go and Google E.T. porn.
Like
Hopefully safe search is on. They'll just see the image of the creature of horrific quality.
yeah, no. Well, I just want to keep the audience. I'm not trying to be a party pooper. I just want to keep people
You're a party
watching.
pooper. It's all right. We love you anyways.
We love you anyway, man.
All right.
We have a comment. We have a comment asking our thoughts on Ms. Barrett because I think we skipped it.
Oh, we did. We did
pre-show.
skip it. You're
Yeah,
right.
that's
you.
on the pre-show.
Thank you, viewer. We skipped that. I hate it. You know, the Intercontinental title has been one of the most prestigious titles in wrestling ever since its creation. You know, I remember the days back when Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Macho Man Savage, Randy Savage, Ultimate Warrior, when those guys held the title, they were the unwritten #1 contender to the world title. They were the anointed next world heavyweight champion when they held that Intercontinental title. And it's fallen so far from grace. And when Cody Rhodes brought back the old school white Intercontinental title, I was like, yes, the Intercontinental title means something again. And then WWE dropped the ball with it again. I hate it. I understand why they're doing it, because WrestleMania is so jam-packed and so full of matches. Like, it's going to be long. And they want something for the pre-show. Like, I get it from that standpoint.
They want it to mean something, yeah.
But I think that Miz is going to win here, hopefully, because I think Barrett deserves bigger and better things. Like a main event push.
I hope that Miz wins, not because I like the Miz. I think he's okay. You know, I'm not a fan. I don't hate. I like Miz, the personality, more than I like Miz, the wrestler. I want Barrett to lose so that he can go on to something better. Absolutely.
Yeah. And back in 2010, when they pushed them to the main event, I thought that was way too soon.
Didn't he get injured too?
I think so.
He did. The spot that Ziggler has is Money in the Bank winner. That was supposed to go to Barrett before Barrett got hurt.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He dislocated his arm, right, on the announce table. Oh,
yeah.
And they're screaming. Oh, God. I remember watching that live and hearing him go, ah! Oh! I was like, oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I thought his career was over. Like, that was...
Yeah, that was
brutal.
Probably the most disheartening thing on Raw in recent memory.
My gut sank,
Beyond Jerry Lawler's heart attack, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember that night when Jerry Lawler had the heart attack. The whole crowd just died after Jerry Lawler. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all upset. They were like, what happened? Did we just see someone die? I mean...
Yeah, when Michael Cole broke the fourth wall, you know, changed his character and became real, and the way he was talking about Jerry, like, we all thought Jerry was gone at that point.
I thought that was classy of him, though. To not continue on or say anything negative or anything. And then just stop doing commentary. It was like the greatest thing ever because he wasn't talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I honestly think, I mean, I know this is way after the fact and way old school, but, you know, since we ended up bringing it up, my opinion was the no commentary thing was great, but why did they even continue the show at that point? They just should have said, we'll give you an update on Jerry Lawler on WWE.com as soon as we have it, but out of respect for Jerry and so we don't have to work under these circumstances and try to hold ourselves together, we're just going to end the show.
Because that's not how show business works.
Yeah.
Well, that's not how business works, but...
No, show business.
Oh, show business. Well, but I said the same thing when Owen Hart died at Kemp Arena in KC. I mean, how do you expect guys to be able to perform under those circumstances?
Yeah.
You know, if you can't perform, fine, we'll figure something else out. But we have to give the fans something. They paid money to come here to see this, to see a show.
That's true. That is true.
You know, and it costs millions of dollars to put on a freaking show, especially a pay-per-view. They're not going to stop the pay-per-view.
Right.
You know. It's just not how it works. They don't want to refund people's money because that could be a severe setback from the company. And I don't think Owen Hart or Jerry Lawler would want the company to be in so dire straits because of them. They would be very upset about that.
Yeah.
That is
Owen
true.
Hart may have not been happy with the company, but he didn't want the company to go to business.
That's true. That's very true, Brandon. I didn't think about it that way.
And that's another breaking the fourth wall thing that I guess it gets past that the lawsuit was settled between Owen's wife and WWE.
Yeah, no, I'm glad
about
to
the
see
stuff,
that.
right? It wasn't about the incident. It was about the stuff that they still had, correct?
I don't know if it was about the incident or that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both, but I'm happy to see it over. I'm not 100% sure that it's genuine, because every time I see Bret Hart go out and I see him make comments about Triple H's and then the 1,000 greatest wrestlers of all time, I think Bret's going to be bitter forever. I think the Hart family,
at the same time,
bitter forever.
I do not begrudge him for that. I don't know if I could have the heart to put that behind me. You know, my brother, someone I'm very close to, died because of mismanagement and not being trained and all this other stuff by a company, and then they won't even accept fault for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that would hurt me. I don't even know if Bret Hart. I don't even know if Bret Hart should even be showing up on Raw. If I was him, I wouldn't bother. I would be like, no, I want nothing to do with you. You want to be in the Hall of Fame? I'll show up for that. But you have to donate X amount of money to a charity because I won't show up for any other reason. That would be me.
Yeah, I
but
don't.
Bret Hart's a big man for going back out there and just doing stuff. I mean, and just being on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I completely.
like Raz said, every time you look at him, though, every time you watch him talk, you can tell he's just a bitter old man that's been, plagued by the business, really.
He's had so many bad things happen to him, and no one's calling out Bret Hart here. No one's like Brandon said, no one begrudging Bret Hart. It's just a sad state of affairs.
Yeah,
it's an unfortunate state of affairs. Very much.
I mean, his brother dies. The Montreal screw job. I mean, the wrestling business has kind of
not been kind to him.
Yeah, dicked him over.
No, absolutely. For a guy that's one of the greatest performers of all time, that's unfortunately, but not what people are going to remember.
Yeah. I mean, if I were Bret, I would look at Vince McMahon with disdain.
He probably does.
Yeah, not because I'm not a forgiving person, but I would get in my mind. I'm like, how could you do that to one of your hottest superstars? Although, it was like Bret, the whole contract deal going on there. But still, you shouldn't, go behind somebody's back and basically force them out of the company,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, anyways, Brendan, back on track with the viewer question because you didn't get to chime in on it. What are your thoughts on Miz and Barrett?
Yeah, Miz and Barrett for sure. Definitely, I don't think the IC title should have been relegated to the pre-show. That's just a complete slap in the face to people like Ricky Steamboat and Randy Savage, and like this title's not good enough to get on freaking WrestleMania, even though it's held by all the great people. And apparently, someone is asking, how does he plug his microphone into a computer? There should be a jack on the front.
Just continue with your thoughts on Barrett. Just leave that alone.
Okay.
It's not like he can talk to us or anything.
Okay, definitely. But I think, it definitely shouldn't be relegated to the pre-show, and WWE definitely doesn't need to. It needs to have more respect for a title of that caliber,
And what are your thoughts on the actual match? Like, who's going over, though?
The Miz.
20 minutes later.
Yeah, 20 minutes later. I agree with both of you that Wade Barrett definitely needs to go into greener pasture for sure.
All right, let's talk about Ryback, Mark Henry. I hate big guys because I'm cynical now because I'm an older guy and I want to see guys that can go and give me 30 minutes of holy crap moments. Like, that's my favorite type of wrestler.
You like spot vests.
Yeah, I do. I'm jaded, and that's what I want to see. But but I give them credit because they really have built this match in a way that has me really intrigued by it. Because you've got one guy who, before he got hurt, was your hottest world champion.
Oh, yeah.
In a long time, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then you've got another guy who you clearly are having, for lack of a PC way to put it, because literally, not that I don't want to be PC, I just can't think of a way to say it. You're having wet dreams over Ryback when you're Vince McMahon. So it's really an interesting dichotomy here about who's going to go over, but my gut's just telling me that the whole thing has been Mark Henry's looked a little bit stronger than Ryback during the build-up, so in my opinion, Ryback's going to go over, and Ryback's thing is going to be getting Mark Henry in that massive body up for the Show Shock to end the match.
Well, like their comment just appeared on the live stream. The guy said Ryback versus Henry basically a pissing match, and I wouldn't necessarily agree because I think that Henry is getting on WrestleMania. I have all the respect in the world for Mark Henry, and even at the press conference, Mark Henry's like a big teddy bear. He was talking at the press conference, and he was crying because he was like, I don't want to go into my own hometown and embarrass myself. He was crying. He was getting choked up at the press conference.
Right there tells me this is probably going to be his retirement match.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. I don't know how much we're going to see of him after this, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would want to see him get one more world title before he retires.
So would I.
I would too. But I mean, realistically,
yeah.
I don't see him going over Ryback. I think he's going to lay down for Ryback, and that he's going to help make a new star, or what everyone else perceives to be a new star. Not a fan of Ryback. Don't hate him either.
Well, the thing is, I still call him Ryberg. I still think he's a Goldberg clone.
Yeah.
But that's the magic of WrestleMania build-up. It doesn't matter how pathetic the card looks on paper. They always do a great job in those 6 weeks between Elimination Chamber and Mania of making you care about everything that makes that card. They do a great job in it.
Yeah.
And it's making me see Ryback in a light that I've never seen him before.
Yeah, honestly, Ryback is growing on me. I never thought it would happen. I think the only reason I hated him is because he was going against CM Punk. And I do not hate The Undertaker at all. So that is kind of weird. It's like really weird. Like I hated The Rock when he was going against Punk. I hated Ryback when he was going against Punk. But I do not hate The Undertaker.
Well, everybody knows that, like I am for Jericho and Punk, you're really that way for Punk. You're like the definition of a CM Punk mark.
Yeah, I'm a huge CM Punk mark. I knew he was awesome before the promo. And back in 2011. And
the promo.
Yeah, the promo.
It is the promo. I mean, it's become that important to wrestling history for sure.
Yeah.
But,
it's one of the best promos of all time. I mean.
Yeah.
But anyway, finish your thought on Ryback, man. Because we got a frack hand.
Yeah, he's definitely growing on me. And, I can definitely see Ryback going over here. Although, Henry, man, I love Henry.
So far, I think that's a clean sweep for all the hosts. I don't think we've disagreed with each other on any predictions so far, which is really interesting. So, the Shield versus Sheamus, Orton and Show. I think Orton turns heel here, and I think the Shield goes over.
Yes, Orton turns heel. Yeah, Orton turns heel and joins the Shield.
I don't think he's going to join the Shield.
Do you not?
I think he's going to turn heel. I think they're going to. I think that match, that team is going to devolve into its own thing. Like they're either Randy Orton's going to walk away, or he's going to not tag, or he's going to do something to turn heel. but he's not going. I don't think he's going to join the Shield. The Shield doesn't need Randy Orton. And
No,
Randy
not
Orton
at
doesn't
all.
need the Shield. So
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is that it's wrestling 101. Anybody that's been a lifelong fan and anybody that's booked in the indies like me, it's wrestling 101. I mean, they work so hard at making Randy Orton the guy that pulls the team together. Randy Orton made Big Show into a face, made Sheamus and Big Show get along. So it's wrestling 101 because it's the last guy that you're supposed to suspect to be the mole in the group. You're supposed to look at Big Show. You're supposed to look at Sheamus because they have that history. You're not supposed to look at Orton, which means it's going to be Orton all the way through.
Yeah. Yep.
And,
Definitely.
you know, it's overdue for Orton, too, because he can do absolutely nothing else as a face at this point.
No.
he
Not
can't
at
do
all.
anything as a face. He's a terrible face. Let's be honest.
He's a horrible face. My name
Terrible.
is My name
I'm
is Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. Good.
Yeah.
You can say your name. Here's your cookie.
Yeah, hi, Randy Orton. It just on the top rope,
Yes.
you know.
Like, wait,
Yeah.
you can do the same thing Beth Phoenix can. Way to go.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So, wait a minute. I'm trying to think. Am I forgetting anything beyond the big three? Because the big three are obviously going to take the bulk of this discussion.
I
So.
think we're in the main event, yeah.
Del Rio Swagger?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Del-
Del Rio Swagger, of course. Yes, God, yes. I can't wait to see this match. I think it's the most intriguing world title match in wrestling, or WrestleMania, sorry, for a long time.
Absolutely.
And I think that it's going to be fantastic. And I want Swagger to win, but at the same time, I don't want him to win because I don't think that there should be a world heavyweight champion that's not Dolph Ziggler if somebody's going to take that title off Del Rio. The only way you could do it is to have Swagger win the world title and then have Ziggler take it away from Swagger, which would turn Ziggler instant face. But then
Absolutely.
what happens with Big E and AJ at that point?
Yeah.
Why can't they just be current face? I mean,
Well, they could, but AJ is so much better as a heel,
look.
in my opinion.
Okay, we're no longer in the black and white, good versus evil era of wrestling. There's nothing saying that Ziggler can't be friends and tag team partner with Big E, who's a heel, and they don't feud because they're friends, but they don't interfere. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing saying they can't do that and have Ziggler be the fan favorite and not exactly a nice guy. Stone Cold wasn't a nice guy, There's nothing saying that he can't be a tweener,
Yeah.
I absolutely agree, but I've yet to see WWE think like that. Think the way fans do, think the way independent bookers do. I've yet to see them think like that. They're always so cut and dry. And
They got a new head of writing, so
Yeah. Which is good.
that is good. But yeah, I definitely could see Swagger winning here, and if he wins, I'm not going to be surprised at all. But I'm going to go with Del Rio simply because I'm not sure if they're going to put the title on Swagger simply and for no other reason than what he did with the marijuana bust. I'm still not
look.
100% convinced that they aren't going to punish him for that.
I've never been a fan of someone losing their job because of something they did outside of their job. If he was on the job and was on marijuana, and that was against the rules, then you should punish him. You shouldn't be punished for doing something outside of work at your work. What should happen is maybe Swagger goes to jail for a few days, like he will, which is likely to happen. That should be his punishment right there. You shouldn't look. If I post something on Facebook or I get in some fisticuffs outside of work, not on work premises, but at a bar or something, I shouldn't get fired from my job because of it. And that's how I feel. Same here. Should he stay a heel because he did something bad? Absolutely. It's probably a good thing for Heat.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I don't think this character would have worked as a babyface. Although the funny thing is, I don't know about you guys, but I 100% agree. Even though it's over the top and not as serious as they make it out to be, I 100% agree with everything that Coulter and Swagger say about the U.S. I think they're 100% right in the majority of what they're saying. which I think is what makes this whole feud so interesting, because you are going to have people that are going to be chanting USA and really cheering hard for Swagger in this match when they're not supposed to.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. It would be funny if, you know, at WrestleMania, they had Glenn Beck come out and took a bump from Jack Swagger.
That would
Won't
be
happen.
great. It won't happen, but it'd be
No,
great.
not at all. Not at all.
But, you know, I just applaud the booking. I think it's been brilliant booking. I love the character. I love Dirty Dutch Mantel. I love everything about this feud.
Oh, Dutch Mantel's awesome.
So, you know, I want Swagger to win, but I'm going with Del Rio. And I'll let you two guys talk about it now.
I love how he stands in the ring and twirls his mustache. Just like this.
The mustache is so awesome. I want his mustache. Oh, I can't grow. This is the best I can do, and it's kind of sad.
You know,
I know, yeah, right?
I seen a dude at my grocery store with that same mustache, and
The mustache is awesome.
I was gonna walk up to him and say, "Can I twirl your mustache?"
No, that is totally not cool.
Yeah,
No man should ever twirl another man's mustache
that would not.
unless they are in a relationship, and that's fine.
Like it would not have made me look good at all.
No, you may even got punched. You know, you're like, oh, what happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want Swagger to win because I think it's more interesting when a face chases a heel. So even if Ziggler isn't gonna cash in till Money in the Bank, seeing Del Rio and Swagger, you know, where Del Rio's chasing Swagger is more interesting than the other way around. That's just my opinion. So I think Swagger. I think this is where we're going to disagree. I think Swagger's going to win.
Yeah. I'm yawning. I don't know why. But
This has been anything but a boring show. I thought I'd just point that out.
I mean, he's still bored, but it's because of everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with Skinslip. I think Swagger's going to go over here. I mean, this push has been phenomenal. And, you know.
And like I said, I'm only going with Del Rio because I'm on the fence. I literally don't know what they're gonna do.
No,
Yeah.
that's one of the matches. Like, I want Swagger to win. That's one of the few matches where I can say I have no idea. I have no idea what they're going to do. It could go either way. In fact, I think Vegas has it at even odds.
I think it's the only match on the card that you can say that about.
Yeah.
I think it's the only match on the card that you can't pick a definitive ending for it.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Like
Brandon, I don't think you ever gave...
Sorry.
You talked about Randy Orton turning heel and agreeing with us, but I don't think you ever said who you think is going to go over in that match.
The Shield. But I don't think I think this is the time the Shield doesn't go over clean. They've gone on clean already a bunch. I think this is where you turn them either full heel or full face, you know. So either it's going to be Orton's disqualification in the match, or it's them going to use the whole distraction to cause some havoc. They haven't gone over that. They've gotten too many clean victories. I think this is the time where it's going to be unclean, and the Shield's going to win still. And I don't think Cassius Ohno is going to premiere and become part of the Shield. I think the Shield's fine with 3 guys.
I would love it though. He needs to be He needs to be in WWE.
And it needs to be
Any worse way.
Ellie's tag team partner, and they should be facing Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston in like 2 months. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, like Kofi Kingston needs to get the U.S. title just to get it off of Cesaro. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
Kofi Kingston's in that spot again where he was when
he's not on the card.
He pissed off Randy Orton. And
He's not on the card. He's not on the card, and neither is Kofi. And that's why I keep saying, like, it's an hour-long pre-show, and as far as we know, there's only one match on the pre-show. Why not have that Intercontinental title match about to start? And then Antonio Cesaro comes out, does his thing, complaining about not being at Mania, and have Booker T, since he's the Hall of Famer, let him book the match, and turn it into a fatal champion versus champion unification match, throw Kofi Kingston in there, have it be a fatal 4-way.
Or not even unification, maybe just a winner gets both titles. I mean, you don't have to unify them. You can just have the 2 titles.
You remember how many belts The Miz held at one point?
I think 3.
How many belts did he hold?
It was Intercontinental... tag and something else, wasn't it?
No, it's US tag and something else, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Anyways.
You're right. I mean, they could go that route, but my point is Cesaro, and I'd say Kofi because I don't know who else they would put as a fourth opponent, but Cesaro definitely needs to be at Mania.
Yeah.
And so,
at least on the pre-show. I mean, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that uppercut needs to be his finisher. It needs to be his finisher. The neutralizer's not interesting.
Well, the neutralizer is
I disagree
interesting
because I think
when
the neutralizer's awesome but only when he does it against really guys that are twice his size.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is a really strong guy.
I think that the neutralizer should be like one of those things like, okay, I've done everything else. I need to do this to win, you know?
Yeah, I do love
like the
that.
Burning Hammer for Kobayashi, who used it, I think, 5 times in 30 years. I mean, like...
Oh, yeah, well, that's a very good point. Yeah. Because the European uppercut that he does is vicious, for sure.
Yeah. I want to see the UFO! I want to see the UFO in a WWE ring!
So do I, but...
Oh, my God. Kobayashi, the freaking man.
Yeah, anyway, I just wanted to point that was my example, that was all.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to Big 3.
Finally time, boys, the Big 3. So let's I think that Taker Punk is a bigger match than Lesnar and Triple H, and that's just me.
Oh, way bigger. Way bigger.
So
absolutely.
let's talk about Lesnar and Triple H first. Is what happens in this match that makes people care about it? Because to me, a no-holds-barred match is nothing but a glorified street fight. It's a match we've seen 10,000 times over in wrestling. We saw the feud already at SummerSlam. It's the exact same reasons behind it that they're going at it again. I need something to happen in this match. I mean, I know it's Brock Lesnar, and I know he has his fan base, and I know why he's there, but I just need something for me, personally, to happen in this match that makes me care about it. And I don't think that Triple H's career being on the line, I don't believe it. It hasn't sold me.
Oh my God.
Because I don't think Triple H is done. The only thing that I could potentially see happening, and this is a big far-fetched thing because of the agreement that Shawn Michaels and Undertaker made, but with Michaels in Triple H's corner, Michaels could turn on Triple H, cost Triple H his career, but sets up a final match between the two at Mania 30.
I think
that's the only thing I could see happening here that makes me give a crap.
On the same vein as you, look, here's my thought. Triple H is in the middle of the ring. This is how I book it. He's in the Kimura lock. He's yelling, screaming, but he won't tap. He won't tap. And Shawn Michaels is like, you gotta tap, you gotta tap. And Shawn Michaels throws a towel in. And that's how he loses. And that should be how they get into the feud.
Yeah,
that would be, if you're gonna do the feud, yeah, that would be good. Yeah,
and
I like that.
That would
because
be
it's not a quote unquote heel turn for either guy. I like that.
Yeah, they go in both winning faces, just settling the score.
Yeah, and Triple H is just frustrated at Shawn at that point.
Yeah. Or you can do what Triple H is awesome at and turn him heel.
Well, you could, but I don't think it's necessary.
It's not necessary.
If it's clear that it's going to be the last match for both guys.
Someone said Triple H wins with the surprise assist from Goldberg. There you go.
Oh my God, Goldberg. Wow. Okay. Goldberg's
never gonna happen, sadly.
But yeah, Brennan, I mean, it's obvious, in my opinion, that Triple H is going to win. I think Brandon agrees that Triple H is going to win. But Brennan, you chime in. Like, how do you book this match? How do you make people care about this match?
Yeah, I have an interesting theory that Triple H is ready to put his corporate hat on full time.
Mm-hmm. I think my prediction, by the way, was Brock winning.
Oh, really? You actually do think Brock's going to win?
Absolutely.
Well, I'll let you get into that in a minute because it's like...
No, fine. Go ahead.
I just
I think Triple H is ready to be a backstage guy, and he's ready to... He barely wrestled anyway, so I think, give the win to Brock again, proving Brock is the better guy because they beat him twice, and then Triple H is like, I'm done, and then he... go back to do it backstage WWE headquarters thing,
Yeah. Well, and real quick before Brandon makes his point, the only reason that I'm going the other way with it and picking Triple H to win is just simply because I'm an old school guy and Brock Lesnar already has a victory over Triple H. So if you're going to do a rematch, why do a rematch if it's going to have the same outcome as the previous match?
Yeah, you think it's going to have a different one.
How is it going to have a different one if Brock Lesnar's going to win? It's the same outcome.
I'm saying because you think it's going to have a different one. Because it's the thing where you're like, oh yeah, Triple H is going to win. Oh my God, he didn't win. You know, like I think that's the swerve. I think it's better than the swerve.
You make a point there. You make a very good point there. And is that your reasons for picking Brock, or do you have other reasons?
I think that I pick Brock, one, because I like the idea that Triple H can't beat Brock. I like that idea. That idea is really sound, and there's not enough of that in current wrestling. That there's a guy, you just can't beat him. You just can't. There's just no way you can. You've lost to him before. Didn't he lose twice before?
No, Cena's the one that lost to Brock the other time.
Right, and so, I mean, I think it's actually I think it's a better story to have WrestleMania 30 be Shawn versus Triple H and have it both baby faces and how I did it, or just have Triple H go, just be corporate. He's done wrestling, you know? And that would be cool, too. Yeah. It's sometimes you just have to step away and stay away, you know? Look at Roddy Piper.
Yep. Oh, yeah. And you know how good the matches are between Shawn and Triple H. I mean, Royal Rumble 2004, I believe it was, is a good example of it. The last man standing match for the World Heavyweight title.
The match that doesn't get talked about enough because it was Shawn Michaels' resurgence, SummerSlam 2002.
Yeah,
that
SummerSlam.
So good. Sorry, that's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, great match. I love how Triple H, at the end of the match, he would get such a dirty heel bastard at the end, hitting Shawn Michaels in the back with the sledgehammer after Shawn won.
Yeah, I thought the whole build up to that, like I still think about it and I get chill bumps where they did that whole blurry videotape thing, trying to figure out who took Shawn out, and then Shawn's on the Titantron and his eyes are getting big and he goes, "It was you, Hunter." And then Hunter chimes back and he's like, "You're damn right, it was me, Shawn." That's wrestling feuds aren't booked that way anymore, and I miss it so much.
Yeah.
The
last blood feud like that I can remember is Kevin Steen, El Generico, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the one I remember. I mean, they need more blood feud in wrestling.
And Triple H is pushing NXT guys to be more old school, the spontaneous promos and stuff. He might be a driving force in pushing, a bit older school booking.
Yeah. I mean, I think
he's an old school guy. So if he's going to be, if he's part of the writing staff, he has to be. It's part, it's what he does. So I think that obviously he might be pushing for that. I think, and that would be good. That'd be very good to bring back some of the old school and keep it new school at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could do a blood feud between Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt. I mean, two brothers.
And you should. And that feud is actually happening right now in NXT.
It is.
Be in WWE.
It'll happen in WWE. You got to know that's their testing ground to see how it goes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with Graves, what's his name? Michael Graves?
Corey Graves, yeah.
Corey Graves. I want Corey Graves. That guy has a great look to him. And I think he's decent. I've seen him in one match, and I was pretty impressed. So
he does. I think you're going to see a barrage of almost the entire NXT roster because it's Cassius Ohno's time, 10 years ago it was his time. Yep. You've got Corey Graves, it's his time. You've got, I think, Charlotte Flair, it's her time. Paige, it's her time.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the Divas wrestling in NXT, actually. I haven't watched NXT in a while, and I've been meaning to.
Yeah. Well,
it's just,
If I need to talk to my cousin, man, and see if he'll let me give you permission to use our account that we share, the Hulu Plus account, because then you could see NXT anytime you want.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because that's how I keep up with it. But yeah, Yeah, that's exactly how I watch it every week. But I think that, I think that you're going to see like a barrage. There's one other guy, I can't think of his name, besides Bray Wyatt, because Bray Wyatt's and Bo Dallas are givens. But
Yeah.
what's the name of the other guy? The big powerhouse guy with like the scary, lighting. Oh God, what is his name?
The Boogeyman? No, I'm kidding.
No.
Oh yeah, I want the Boogeyman back.
The Boogeyman, he was great. But no, Conor O'Brien, that's it. Conor O'Brien.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah, Conor O'Brien, I think, is also going to be called up this year.
Derek Bateman needs to make his debut. Derek freaking Bateman.
Oh, God.
I talked to a guy on Twitter a bunch of times, and Derek Bateman needs to debut on WWE TV. Like, he good, and, I'm all for Derek Bateman, so get him on TV.
All right. So last two matches.
All right, Taker Punk. I mean, it's obvious that Brennan is going to play devil's advocate, so I'm going to have you go last on purpose because we're going to be able to bounce off you playing devil's advocate because I already know what you're going to do. But it's the streak, it's Undertaker. You can't bet against Undertaker until WrestleMania 30, in my opinion. So Taker's going to win here. But the whole build-up to this feud has just been so fantastic. Rest in peace forever, Wayne Moody. And I know you would have loved every second of this, despite what, some fans say about it being too far. The only thing I'm curious about at this point is how in the world were they going to book this if William Moody didn't die? What would the build-up have been? Because the whole thing has been about Paul Bearer, But the build-up has been great. Punk and Taker are going to tear the house down just like Punk does with everybody he's in the ring with. Everybody's supposed to hate CM Punk, and the majority of people do. So I applaud WWE for great booking, and Taker will win. The streak will continue. That's all I can really say about it. So, Skinslip, you're up, man.
Well, I think Punk's gonna win, and then I think there's gonna be a rematch at 30 to regain some respect for Taker, and I think that's where he's gonna retire. Here's what I would do. Okay, this is my thought. This is my thought process. Punk wins, right? Punk wins. Undertaker goes away for a while. And he comes back, right? And he comes back and he's like, you're the only one who's ever defeated me, and I need to reclaim my honor. I challenge you to a rematch. And then he loses again and retires.
But the thing is, it's WWE, and WWE sees dollar signs. And John Cena, you've got to have Undertaker versus John Cena in Undertaker's last match. It's just, whether you want to see it or not, that's what's going to happen. It's just,
can we bring Hogan back and do a Hogan versus Undertaker match one last time?
Well, I mean, yeah.
At Survivor Series?
I understand exactly what you're saying there. I mean, why do things have to be the way they are? But, I can't say who, for my own personal reasons, because I need that protection, and I don't want, to be berated with a bunch of questions. But I have inside information, and I know that match is going to happen. If it doesn't happen at WrestleMania 30, you're going to see John Cena versus Undertaker in some capacity before Taker retires. So, I can't see Punk winning here. As much as I want to see it happen, I just can't see it. I think it's going to be an epic match, but I think Taker does go 21-0. All right, so Brennan, I know you agree with Brandon, so go ahead and play.
I say, 434 days of a title reign, and what better way to cap the year off than to also end the streak?
Wait, okay, all right. Well, Oh, I'm sorry, dude. I thought you were done. Go ahead and
Oh,
finish.
no problem. I think that Taker, is smart in that he sees that Punk is even though Punk's going to retire soon, he said he wants to retire young. So Punk's probably going to retire soon. Taker, I know that Taker has to see something in Punk. And, it was going to be Kurt Angle to end the streak. But, a thing happened and that didn't, pan out. Taker wanted Kurt Angle to be the one. But I think that Taker, probably sees Punk as, your big guy. So, that's what I think. I think we're going to have 20-1 at WrestleMania.
All right. Well, I have definitive reasons, other than it being the streak, why I think it goes the other way. But I can't get into it until I talk about The Rock and Cena. So let's move on to The Rock and Cena, and I'll let you guys go first because I have a lot to say about this. And like I said, it'll go back to Undertaker, and you'll get what I'm saying.
All right. I'll let Brandon. I can't wait to hear what Brandon has to say about Twice in a Lifetime.
Meh. I really absolutely have no opinion on it. I hope it's a good match. I think Cena's going to win. I'm pretty sure Cena's going to win. Though I think it'd be amazing if he didn't. It'd be a huge... People would be like... I think people are expecting Cena to win, right? And then Rock wins, and I think the crowd goes silent. The breath gets knocked out of them because they didn't expect that or whatever,
Yeah, well, that's the same ending that they had last year, though. That's not a problem. No one gave Rock a chance last year, and Rock already won.
The Rock...
Yeah.
The Rock is scheduled for Extreme Rules, so does he walk into Extreme Rules as champion, or does he face Brock Lesnar at Extreme Rules? I don't know.
Good question. That's a good question. Or does he face CM Punk?
Yeah,
Extreme Rules.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Or does he, out of left field, I've always said this, I want to see it happen. I want Rock to actually put someone over and give them a rub. How amazing would
Rock put people over in the past?
Well, yeah, but not since this run that he's on now.
Fair enough, yeah.
So I think it's out of left field, and it would take, it would just be illogical wrestling booking at this point. But my dream scenario, if Rock is going to be at Extreme Rules, Rock versus Ziggler.
Yeah. And Rock gives Ziggler the rub there. That would be
exactly.
That'd be cool. Because Ziggler would be beating one of the greatest of all time. And
exactly.
Yeah. I see your point there.
Yeah. But Brennan, who do you actually think is gonna win the match?
You know what? Logically I say Cena.
Mm-hmm.
But Rock, I would love for The Rock to win, and Cena to get so angry that he goes off on The Rock at the end of the match and just attacks the crap out of him. Throws him into the Spanish announce desk.
I don't see a heel turn. I just don't see it. I think he's already a big enough heel, just being the big baby face.
Well, here's... Yeah. All right, since you segued into my brain, you channeled my brain.
I do.
Yeah, you do all the time. Here's the whole thing. Everybody was upset about the fact that there's Cena Rock 2. But if Cena Rock 2 hadn't happened, you would not get Punk Taker. And you would not get the epicness that's been that feud. So I think that's what people need to remember here. First of all. Second of all, everybody's upset that John Cena is going to get the WWE Championship again. Regardless of the fact that he has been, or despite the fact, that he has been WWE Champion 10 times. He has not held that title in 5 years. So, it's time, if there was ever a time to give it to him again, if there was ever any kind of way that you could look at John Cena as a fresh face with that title, it's now. So...
His time is now.
Yeah. Ironically enough, that's the way it is. So I do think Cena wins, and I do think that it's going to be a better match than last year. But I also think the thing that people are going to remember when WrestleMania goes off the air, with the John Cena being an absolute bastard heel. Because here's the thing. Cena has gotten progressively darker and darker and darker throughout this whole build-up. And the last 2 weeks, and that insanely long, Hall of Fame Q&A questionnaire, which was great, and also what happened on Raw with him, the fans chanting, boring at him, and he couldn't even finish his promo, and he was talking about the last 10 years, it's been one side this, one side that, even though that whole crowd was completely one-sided booing him. I think it's all, and the way that they booked it as 2012 was the worst year of his life, I think it's all setting up to the frustration. He just can't take it anymore. There has to be some kind of character change for John Cena. John Cena has been the same person in WWE for 10 freaking years. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like, I get the argument, and Brandon, you're 100% right. He's their biggest heel and their biggest face simultaneously all the time. I get that. I completely understand that.
Yeah.
But it's just time for something different. I don't know
I had an idea.
If it's a quote-unquote heel turn, because I don't know if that works in today's wrestling. It goes back to what you were talking about earlier. But it's just time for John Cena to have a moment that makes people go, what the frick? Because he even alluded to it in his promo. He said, at WrestleMania 29, you're going to see something that you never thought was possible. Those were the words that came out of Cena's mouth.
What about the Shield coming down, beating up The Rock, and CM Punk? And Cena pinning him, going, all right, whatever. That's a heel turn right there. I mean,
that is, and there's been rumors of that, and also John Laurinaitis, because Laurinaitis came back out of nowhere on SmackDown.
Now, here's my scenario. Here's my scenario. John Laurinaitis comes out, gets in the ring, out of nowhere, a low blow with The Rock. John Laurinaitis signaled the Shield to come out and basically lay out The Rock even more. Cena pins The Rock, gets up, shakes hands with John Laurinaitis, and the Shield and John Laurinaitis and John Cena all in the show.
Or John Laurinaitis. See, now this makes sense now because John Laurinaitis has been having decreased things in the back, like position in the back. If he's going to transition to like a full-time on-TV personality, that would make sense. He brings out someone from NXT, Bo Dallas, Bray Wyatt, or whatever, and they interfere on behalf of Cena, and Cena helps put that guy over by making it like starting a heel faction, essentially, and not involving the Shield at all.
Yeah.
If
that scenario happened, I wouldn't object to it. But my problem with Laurinaitis being the one behind the Cena heel turn is it would be a far lesser version of Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. And Stone Cold and Vince McMahon didn't even work. That's the one thing. If you hear Stone Cold talk about his career, he hates that. He says that was the biggest mistake he ever made.
Well, they like to repeat their mistakes, so...
Yeah, so I could see it, but I don't want to see it because it's something I've seen before, is my whole thing. But now that I've gotten the actual match out of the way, I have to get into why I think Undertaker has to actually beat CM Punk. Because this is how WrestleMania actually ends, okay? So John Cena turns heel or changes in some way, shape, or form. He's doing the whole, like, the crowd's like, what the... they're shocked. He's doing his whole WWE Championship celebration. He's doing that whole thing. And then, boom, the lights go out. Lights come back up. Undertaker's standing there. Undertaker slits his throat. They look up at the sign. It's a 1-year build. Champion versus streak. Undertaker versus John Cena. At WrestleMania 30.
That'll be interesting.
That'd be cool to see.
I don't know if he holds the title for a full year. I should retract that slightly. But I think they proved a year ago that if it's done right, that a 1-year build can work. And I think because it's so obvious in a lot of people's minds, because it's wrestling booking that makes sense that they're going to do Undertaker versus John Cena at a Mania.
Yeah.
Why not have it be a 1-year build?
Yeah. I don't want Cena to hold the title for a year, only because I don't want anybody to beat Punk's reign. I mean, I was beginning to...
Well, it's not going to be Punk's reign if it's only a full calendar year.
Yeah, that's...
It's going to be 365 days.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's why I was getting worried about Kevin Steen. I was like, please, Steen, drop the title. Don't hold it for over 434 days. I'm like, I don't want anybody in any company to beat CM Punk's streak at all.
Well, he's only in the top, 5? There's still like 3 or 4 people above him.
Yeah, that's true. You got Bruno.
Who held it for like, 4 years? 8 years? Like a long freaking time.
Yeah, Bob Backlund held it longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then a second Bruno run, right? Isn't he like Bruno like number 1 and number 3 or something like that?
Yeah.
Bruno accounts for 70% of the WWE Championship history all by himself, which goes back to what you said in Skinslip Says way back in the beginning of the show. The fact that people don't know who Bruno Sammartino is like the saddest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Or, if you don't, look, you might be too young, you don't know. Before you go and complain, look it up. Learn something. That's all I was saying.
Yeah.
Don't just go and bitch to the internet.
But just think about those numbers for a second. I mean, let's end the show on talking about this.
Well, Skinslip just said something. I seen a sign one time of a wrestling fan. That was signs that say if Cena wins, we riot or whatever.
Right.
That one guy held up a sign and said, if this guy loses, I'm going to complain about it on the internet. He had the sign. It was hilarious.
That would be great to see again. I would actually kind of mark out for a sign like that. But,
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. 70% of the WWE Championship history is one guy. One guy. That is the most unbelievable. That will never be approached again.
4,040 days combined.
Yeah. Wrestling could be 200 years old. And that record will never be touched.
Yep.
No.
Again.
I mean, Hogan had it for 6 reigns at 2,000 days, and that's only half.
Yeah.
6 reigns, and it's only half. He had 3 times as many titles, and he's had it 3 times as many times, and still.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you can make...
Go ahead, Raz.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say you could...
Oh, you're fine.
I was just going to say you can make an argument, a very valid argument, for Ric Flair being the greatest NWA WCW champion of all time, but without a doubt, the greatest WWE champion of all time is Bruno Sammartino, simply because of that time holding the title. Is he the one that people are going to remember the most? Probably not. But is he statistically the greatest of all time? Absolutely. No question.
Yeah, no question at all. I think, I was going to ask, do you guys see even more heat coming for Punk, and they're filming the Hall of Fame tonight, CM Punk interrupting Bruno Sammartino's speech tonight?
I would love it, but it would be way too disrespectful because it's Madison Square Garden and it's Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah. Sammartino won't allow it, I don't think. I think he'd be incredibly pissed. He'd probably walk off stage.
Yeah.
Because it's bad. They probably had to do something tremendous to get him to even come. Because for years he said no.
Well, I heard.
I'm pretty sure Bruno Sammartino was one of the first to be offered induction.
Yeah, and he wouldn't do it. He says it's because the wellness policy improved and that a lot of guys aren't on steroids anymore, which I agree with, and I think that is part of the reason that he finally went in. But I heard a ridiculous rumor, and it may not even be so ridiculous. I heard that he got a 6-figure payout to go in, like freaking higher than any performer at WrestleMania this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like the amount of money they gave him to go in to the Hall of Fame. And I also heard, I think you were the one that told me this, Brennan, that one of his things was you better build an actual Hall of Fame building.
Yeah, and if he, if he's demanding all these demands to go into the Hall of Fame, fuck Bruno Sammartino, dude. I mean,
no, absolutely not.
I mean, I do agree. I do agree. He would the best of all time. That's the thing. But you making all the outrageous demand to
here's the thing.
Either do this or I'm going.
Look, WWE's opening a new training facility. They're building a new training facility that'll be a school, like a college for wrestling. Okay, they're going to have classes on old school wrestling. They're going to teach you how to wrestle there, and that's a perfect place to put a Hall of Fame right there. Then they have a physical building. What's wrong with that?
I do.
So they're already building this place, so it would not be hard for them to just devote an entire wing to it. I mean, how many classrooms do they need or whatever? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
NXT University. That's not actually what it's going to be called, but I think that's what it should be called.
Yeah. Well, are they leaving Full Sail University if they get their own university? It's the question.
That'd be cool.
Probably.
Build their own. You know how many kids are going to be wanting to go to that college? A WWE college?
Well, exactly. They're talking about putting like sleeping quarters so that people don't have to pay rents and shit because they don't get paid a lot of money to be there. You know, that's the biggest problem is a lot of people have to drop out because they can't afford to be there.
Yeah,
because you have to pay you get paid like less than minimum wage for hours and hours of work. You can't get a job to cover that, and you have to live in squalor. I mean, that's
and honestly, I think the school is long overdue. It needed to happen like almost 15 years ago, and
at least a decade, at least.
And the other thing about it is everybody wants to know how in the world they're ever going to fund the WWE Network. And I apologize, by the way, we're going to end the show soon, but I apologize to anybody who can hear background noise. My mom is sweeping behind me. These are noise canceling, so you might not can hear it, but you probably can hear my dog barking, and that's what he's barking at. He hates sweeping.
No, actually, you're good.
I can't hear it either, man. 8390. There you go.
Yeah, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. That's why, you know, as great as the Yeti is, I mean, that's why I use a headset mic for live broadcast, because if it has a noise canceller on it, you can't beat it.
Right, but, as you're saying.
Anyways, as I was saying, I think everybody talks about WWE Network and how they're going to fund WWE Network. I think the school pays for WWE Network. I think
also
the revenue
they have a facility to shoot stuff there.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
And they can do a whole film program there too for actually training people to work the cameras and stuff.
Yeah,
I think everything.
Yeah,
do
I think it all ties together.
Yeah, do like a production class where you you go through a class where you have to make the promos and stuff that they do for like the hype up.
They have writing, filming, doing audio, cable running, like all these things that you need to teach people. You know, and it's hard to get people. First of all, a lot of those things are unionized, and the only way to get in is through the union. But if you get training, at the end of that training, you get a union position, or you get a temp position that leads to a union position. You know.
Yeah. Although if we were to do the audio, Raz always talked about how they, I think at TNA, how they always mic the ring.
Oh yeah, the ring mics are up way too high.
Absolutely.
I have to explain this for anybody that's not an older fan, or maybe doesn't know the reason behind that.
Isn't in the know.
Isn't in the know. The reason that there are mics under the ring is so that or when guys don't hit each other physically, or when they don't actually kick each other, that creates the illusion sound. Like, even though everybody pretty much knows that it's not a real fight, it creates the illusion and the sound of a real punch or a real kick. And that's why they have the mic under the ring. But the thing is, TNA always has their mic up too loud, because you can hear every freaking move when it hits the ring, and you can hear guys call out spots. Every freaking TNA pay-per-view, when you're listening through headphones, watching a TNA pay-per-view or a TNA live show, you hear guys going, headlock, drop kick. Like, turn down your freaking microphone, TNA.
Well, that's a big problem. I mean, it makes them look unprofessional.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and the whole thing is, if those who've never been to a live event, you sit in the front row, the first match is the loudest. You're like, oh, my ears, and then you get used to the sound. But when someone hits that mat, it's thunderous, and that's not even with a mic. That's just hitting the mat, you know.
Yeah.
So, and as you go farther back in a stadium, the volume on they raise the volume on the speakers so that it sounds equal across the stadium. So when you're sitting in the back stadium, it sounds just like you're in the front row.
Yeah.
So that's part of the help the illusion. It makes it more realistic. You know, I mean,
It's like they say on Botchmania.
yeah. Everyone talks too much.
Everyone talks too much.
And TNA is constantly on that segment on Botchmania, one of my favorite YouTube things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love Botchmania. Botchmania, I would love to get the guys from Botchmania on this show. I think it would be brilliant.
Matthew Gregg.
Yeah.
And maybe the Podswoggle guys. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You know who I want to get on Talk Wrestling? I want to get the frickin' Iron Sheik. He's hilarious.
Oh, God. So he could just insult us and call us names the entire time?
You're like, you fucker! No, Talk Wrestling Online. I'm Mick Hulk Hogan.
Right, exactly. Exactly. Well, boys, I think we're just having fun now, and I think we've exhausted.
I've got stuff to do. So
I think we've just exhausted the pre-show at this point. But I can't speak for Ben, and I don't know what Brandon's schedule is, but I would love us to come back on Monday before Raw and do a post-reaction episode as well.
I don't have plans at this time, so that will probably happen.
That'll be awesome.
All right, so Brennan will probably come on at some point early Monday.
I got my review to do tomorrow night. So.
So you'll probably announce the time.
Yeah,
it'd probably be around the same time, probably around 6 Eastern.
Yeah. We'll probably keep it.
If we can actually, no, that's fine. It should be all right. We'll talk about that later.
Well.
No, we'll talk about it later. I really have to get going, so we need to wrap this up.
All right, man.
So.
All right,
Raz, wrap us up.
All right. Well, first you two guys tell people where to find you, and then I'll wrap up the show.
Brandon, go ahead.
You can find me at twitter.com/Skinslip, youtube.com/Skinslip, facebook.com/Cinematic Catastrophe, or on Geeky under Skinslip with the Cinematic Catastrophe review, and Geeky for all your geeky needs of geekiness.
And Geeky's Milk Crate contest. Plug that real quick.
I think it's over with, actually.
Oh, it is. All right.
If it's not over with, it's over with tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure.
All right. Brennan.
Me, WWE TNA for Life, Twitter, YouTube, everywhere, WrestlePalooza, with 3 O's, .com, and do it. Go check it out, or I'll punch you.
RazMansReality, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, basically everywhere. You look up RazMansReality, I'm the only one in the book, that's me. Go and support me. I'll love you for doing it. And as far as this show,
it's true.
I will worship you for life if you do it. But no, this show at TWO Show on Twitter, Facebook.com/Talk Wrestling Online, and those 2 social media places are going to be more active now than ever before because of this relaunch. We're really trying to make this show into something huge, so we really hope you all enjoyed it. And with that, as always, this has been the most hard-hitting, this has been Talk Wrestling Online, the most hard-hitting and unbiased opinions on the wrestling world today, and we're out.
Peace.
See you on Botchmania.